Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have a few updates to share about Donald Trump's coup clown. So first, attorney John Eastman is still on trial in California, believe it or not. This is in his disbarment proceeding. And in speaking to the bar attorneys this week, Eastman told them, quote, "My intent was not to promote doubt in the results of the election. My intent was to get to the truth of the validity of the election. Those are two dramatically different things as far as intent goes." I know it's just farcical, but and the bar pointed out in their notice of discipline to Eastman that when he went on stage on January 6th, he told the crowd, quote, "We know there was fraud, traditional fraud that occurred. We know that dead people voted." And the bar contends that Eastman knew, or it should have known, that those statements were untrue. The good news is that this trial is coming to an end, finally. The state bar court judge said that the proceeding will end November 3rd, so 1 week from today. That's when the closing arguments will take place. And then she has 90 days in which to order or to issue her ruling. The judge can recommend disbarment. She can issue a judgment of suspension or some other form of discipline. She could also recommend no discipline at all. So we'll just have to see. And Eastman can then appeal her decision. He would take that to the state bar court hearing department. And then the final decision rests with the California Supreme Court. So it could still be many, many months away before we see any kind of consequences for Eastman, if at all. We'll see how it goes. Next up is news about Sidney Powell, Miss Kraken lady. As you all know, Powell accepted a plea and cooperation deal in the Georgia RICO case last week. Well, her nonprofit organization sent out a newsletter in which they shared an article that was published by The Federalist, and it claims that the Fulton County District Attorney, quote, extorted a guilty plea from Powell. And this article that they sent, or I should say the newsletter that they sent and what they sent along with the article, was encouraging her followers to read and share articles that contain other similar sentiments, that like she was forced into this. She's also still posting election fraud fairy tales, and in a Twitter post, she claimed that law enforcement is politically biased against conservatives. And just several days after her plea hearing, Powell reposted a video that was made by Trump minion Tom Fitton. He, is the one who started Judicial Watch and all that, even though he is not an attorney. Anyway, he said that Trump is under attack, quote, for daring to dispute the Biden election. Yeah, that's why he's been indicted, just because he posited the idea that, the election maybe wasn't on the up and up. That's all it was. Not that he tried to rig the election, not that he tried to steal the election, not that he tried to commit a coup. No, it couldn't be that. In addition, Powell has been sharing and promoting posts about the Eastman disbarment trial, which I just mentioned. It includes all these bogus claims that there's, quote, lots of evidence of election fraud being presented. Yeah, you guys know I have been covering this for months now. I have been sharing with you all the key details. There has been no evidence presented of election fraud. In fact, his own witnesses have refuted that fact, or they've at least said, well, yeah, I can't really prove it. Those are my theories. That's what I think, but I don't really have hard evidence. So we'll see how DA Fani Willis handles this and her total flip, meaning Powell. I would think this would be grounds to rescind her cooperation deal. I would think that the DA would be well within her rights to force Powell back to court and back to trial. Let's just put her before a jury. Let's see how it goes. And speaking of the Georgia RICO plea deals, the 65 Project has filed a complaint with the Colorado Supreme Court demanding that attorney Jenna Ellis be disbarred. This is following her guilty plea that just happened this week. The 65 Project, you guys might recall, they're a group of bipartisan attorneys and judges, and they banded together after Trump filed all of his ridiculous election fraud lawsuits. They are trying to disbar and or at least hold accountable all of the attorneys who helped Trump to try to commit the coup. In a public statement, the managing director of the 65 Project said, quote, "With her guilty plea today, Ms. Ellis has admitted to engaging in conduct that constitutes a crime of moral turpitude. As such, we are calling on this Colorado Supreme Court to take appropriate action and disbar Ms. Ellis." And it appears that the Colorado State Bar is already on this. So that, of course, is where Ellis is licensed to practice. However, she did move down to Margaritaville not so long ago. The Colorado State Attorney Regulation Council has now confirmed that Ellis is under investigation. She said, quote, "I can disclose that an investigation has been opened and the matter involving Jenna Ellis's Georgia conviction is pending with our office." So Ellis may have evaded prison time, but she might not completely escape. And she's also experiencing backlash for turning on the MAGA cult leader. Failed congressional candidate and xenophobe Laura Loomer went off on Ellis on Twitter. She called her a grifter. She called her a, quote, "nasty witch." And she accused Ellis of scamming people out of $216,000 because Ellis claimed that she was planning to fight this whole thing. She was going to fight the charges, but, you know, she was fundraising off of this. So we'll see. The right on right violence is delicious. I also have a very quick update about Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity Giuliani. He has secured a new attorney. He found someone to represent him in the Georgia RICO case. Can you believe it? As you all know, Giuliani was recently sued by his attorneys who were handling a plethora of cases, and that was for failure to pay. He owes them almost $1.5 million. Then his two Georgia attorneys quit. That was shortly after the other attorneys bailed. Well, he'll now be represented by Georgia attorney Alan Stockton, spelled very strange, Allyn. Stockton told the Daily Beast, quote, "Candidly, how do you not say yes? I'm the kind of guy who volunteers for a death penalty case. I like challenges like this." Good luck to you, Stockton. That's all I got to say. Don't expect to get paid. Anyway, I will let you all know when I hear more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe if you have not. Please donate if you possibly can. Really helps to keep the show going. So appreciate it. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon. Have a great weekend.